since we're talking about parents, is all kinds of afflictions in this world. One can lose his job, one can lose a relative, so many different things. Abu Isa, what is the worst thing a person can experience? The worst possible thing one can experience in life. What are you saying? The worst. What tops the list? Who says it's the worst thing? It's terrible. The worst thing one can experience in his life. Yaakov Avinu is meeting Yosef for the very first time after how many years? 22 years he didn't see him. What's the first thing that he says to him? Vayomer Yisrael el Yosef, Amusa hapam, now I can die after I saw you. Why do you want to die? Why do you feel like you want to die? You should say, now you gave me life, now I can continue to live. Amusa hapam, now I can die. Says, Dashla HaKodosh. Listen to a language of the Shla. The Shla says, it's appropriate for a person to give money for his kids to get married. For a chashuv, a shidduch, yichus, give a lot of money, but I have seen some fathers, that's what the Shla HaKodesh says, that when they have a lot of money, when they become old, they give each one of their kids who's married a lot of money. And they leave for themselves a small amount, whatever they calculate is going to be enough for them to carry them over to the end of their life. Says the Shla HaKodesh, this is a shtus gadol, very foolish. Because who knows what's going to happen? Maybe the father is going to lose everything that he left for himself, and he's going to have to be sustained by his children. And the Shla HaKodesh, if that's going to happen, it's something which is against nature. And those kids who will help the father, who will keep them at home and sustain the father, it's going to be a very heavy burden on them, even though the father is the one who gave them all that wealth. They already forgot all about it. And because of that, the kids will come to terrible, terrible sins. Therefore, says the Shla HaKodesh, any wise person who can look into the future and see, who can see what can transpire, should make sure to give money to make the shidduch, but not to give all your wealth. Listen to the language of the Shla. Ki ein ra ba'olam kara hazo. There is nothing worse, nothing in this world worse than av or im, a father or a mother, that have to be sustained by their parents, by their kids. Rav amar kamaves. This is similar to death. Language of the Shla HaKodesh. Continues the Shla HaKodesh and says, and I heard b'derech halatza, jokingly, but this is the Shla HaKodesh saying this, so it has a lot of value. Why is it that Yaakov Avinu says to Yosef, oh, now I can die? He will say to him, oi, now I'm going to be sustained by you. This is to me like dying. Amusa hapam, because now I realize I'm coming to Mitzrayim and you're going to be the one supporting me. This is to me like dying. Mamish unbelievable. Says the Shla HaKodesh, a father can sustain 10 kids. Besimcha, be'ava. And 10 kids can support even one father. Therefore, the Shla HaKodesh says, let no father do this to himself. If it happens, whatever reason, Kodesh Baruch Hu udim, if it's necessary, fine. Then, daven to Kodesh Baruch Hu, daya letzara bishasa. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's what the Shla HaKodesh says. Haracha man yatzil. But don't cause this to yourself. The Binyan David in Parshas Vayigash, he says, Yosef was aware of this. Yaakov just told him, to me it's worth it's like dying, that I have to be supported by you. And therefore the Pasuk says that when Yosef sustained his father and his brothers, Yosef sustained his father and his brothers, lechem lefi hataf. According to the young children, we normally understand according to the amount of people that they have. No. Says the Binyan David, he didn't want his father to feel terrible. So he didn't sustain him like a son who supports his father and makes his father know that, look what I'm doing for you. No, he sustained them like a father treating and supporting his sons, in others to avoid embarrassment from his father. There's a sefer called Makel Yaakov. Akdama to Maseches Makois, he brings an unbelievable ma'aseh about the Gaon Vilna. The Gaon Vilna's mother lived with him for 10 years. She was an almana. He supported her for 10 years. One day the Gaon Vilna goes into his mother's room to check how she's doing, and she's crying and crying and crying. So the Gaon Vilna says, Mommy, are you okay? She says, yeah, you feel okay? Yeah, why are you crying? Am I treating you with enough respect? Maybe I'm not doing a good job. She says, you're amazing. Maybe my wife, she's not treating you with the proper respect. Your wife is unbelievable. She treats me better than a daughter. She's so dedicated to me. So, mommy, why are you crying? She says, look, I'm not young. And I realize I'm not staying here for a very long time, and I'm afraid. Judgment day, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm afraid of the judgment. And the Gaon Vilna says to his mother, when you go up there, you say to them, I was sustained by my son for 10 years, and with that, all your sins will be erased. Not to be believed. He didn't say, tell them that you were a widow. Tell them all the yisum that you had in your life. No. Just tell them I was supported by my son for 10 years. All your sins will be erased. Bilay Ployim.